Okay, hi all. This is our interview with Miss Olivia Stefanino from England. I'm Nada Ibrahim, and I'm studying life coaching. I am interviewing her about her journey from journalism to coaching. Okay, hi Olivia.
Hi Nada, I'm so excited to be on this call with you.
Me too. Okay, let's start. Where do you want to start? I have three sections here in our interview. I want to talk about your book and your website, Money Types, and your journey as a journalist till you are now a coach. Where shall we start?
Always start in the middle, I think.
Your website, Money Types.
Yeah, we'll start in the middle. Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
I think we may be answering a different question, but the Money Types is something that I came up with from all my time as a coach. And I have my own private practice and I work with companies and different organizations. And like me, I found a lot of people were struggling with their own money story. Things weren't quite working out for them in the way that they would perhaps wish. And I saw a correlation between people's money stories and how they are in life, what their beliefs are, what their values are, frankly, their relationship with themselves. And I think money is a great reflection. It's like a mirror, and it reflects back to us our feelings about ourselves. And so I created this system of the money types. There are 6 money types, and the system helps us to take the first step to understanding ourselves better.
Yeah, okay. I went already through the questionnaire and I know my type. But how did you define those distinct types?
And your type is an architect, right?
Yes, I'm architect.
Well, we have 6 types, and the architect is one. The other 5 are the pharaoh, the magician, the joker, the angel, the architect, and the prisoner. And they all have different aspects to them. And they all have a light side, which is how we are when we're operating at our best. And they all have a shadow side, which is the side that can trip us up and cause us difficulty as well.
Yeah,
the pharaoh, for example, is the one who should be the leader. The shadow, yes, the shadow. The shadow is the stuff that we don't like to see, the stuff that we repress, that actually drives us in our subconscious minds. Have you studied the shadow at all yet in your coaching?
No.
Have you studied the shadow? No,
I didn't use it yet. I need to,
okay.
I need to gain more knowledge about this shadow. I don't know to read more, to explore it more.
There's always more.
There, yeah.
There is always more. I think it was the psychologist Carl Jung who first talked about the shadow. And the shadow is that part behind us that we don't like to see. We disown it. We pretend it's not us. We project it onto other people or onto money. And that's often where there's a lot of coaching gold, if you like, because that's where the trouble is, and that's where we can do something about it and change it. So the shadow is fascinating, really worth looking into.
Okay.
So I was just telling you about the different types, really. For the pharaoh is the leader. The pharaoh is the one who decides really how you want your life to be, how you lead your life. It's about taking your own sovereignty. Mm-hmm. The magician is more of us that can spot opportunities and create solutions. The entrepreneur can also be the one that has lots and lots of ideas but never manages to make any of them happen, because they always have a new idea. Okay. The jokers are the ones who are great at connecting people with people and people with ideas, and they're great fun to have around, and they're great at sales and making things happen through people, but don't always like to have to do the hard work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then we have the angel. And the angel, often it's women who are the high angels, who love to help everyone else, but often leave themselves out and then burn out a bit further down the line when they haven't got anything left for themselves, which could be money or energy. Then we have the architect, as you well know, who's somebody who's really well organized, who makes things happen, who asks all the right questions and leaves no stone unturned. And you recognize yourself. And then we have the prisoner, and the prisoner sometimes can be the one that feels stuck, or who just is a victim, who goes round and round the same thing. But also the prisoner can be the one that says, how can we do it better? and throw some light on the situation. So they all have an aspect to play within us and can help us if we call on all those different parts of ourselves. And of course, it always starts with self-awareness. But then it's fascinating, as you said to me earlier before we started this conversation, when we understand ourselves, only then do we get to start understanding other people better.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what's your type? What's your money type?
That's a good question. I have very high magician, and I also have a high joker and angel. And that caused me trouble when I was younger.
So you suggest that each one of us can be a mixed types? We have it all inside us, but there is a dominant type.
Absolutely. Yeah. And many profiling systems say that you're this or that, whereas with this profiling system, you can be a mixture of them all and you can develop them as you need to. So they're like 6 guides or helpers for you that can help you with a particular project.
Okay. So what after I know I am an architect? How can I work on myself? How can I develop my strengths and cover my weaknesses? Is it possible?
Well, of course it's possible.
Okay.
It's possible. But I think the first question would have to be, where do you feel you are now in your life? And where would you like to be? Where's the gap?
Yeah. I'm always telling my clients that we are coaching to bridge that gap. We always have that gap. We are standing in such in some point now, and we want to go to another point. How can we go there?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So the architect, your natural strength, will create a framework, and will decide that it needs to get qualified properly, and will want to have the right solutions and the right tools so that you can help your clients, which is fantastic. You may also then want to develop your joker, because it's your joker that will go out and connect you with your potential clients.
Yeah,
Joker's the network.
And I try to use him. Yeah,
absolutely. Will you have it made?
Yeah,
you picked your husband well.
I have a discussion with him yesterday. I thought we can make a perfect blend.
Yeah, you'll make a good business blend. Absolutely. And then it will be about developing your magician as well, so that you can see what are the opportunities, what are the problems that people have, and then how can you create what you have to solve those problems and to network and get out there and make yourself known so that clients come to you. So you build a community, really. So building a community is really easy for your husband, and you have the framework and the tools. So then it's just about developing your own business skills in terms of what kind of business do you want to have, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have, who do you feel that you can best serve, who can you make the most difference for, and make sure that you make a profit too, because when you have more exponentially.
Okay. And I want to tell our listeners that you have one-to-one sessions. They can book sessions after they go on and know their types, so you can help them how to get the best use of their type. Correct?
Absolutely. I do those sessions indeed, and I can do them via Zoom, like what you and I are doing now. So, like you, we're both coaches doing our different thing. So yeah, people can book a session.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I post your website.
My website is my name. Sorry. My website. We have a few internet connection issues here, so thank you for bearing with us. Shall I give you my website name?
Okay.
My website name is my name, so it's www.oliviastefanino.com. And perhaps you can give that out underneath when we post this.
Yes, sure. I'll post it in the post in the Facebook page. Okay.
And the good thing is, I know as an architect that you will do that.
Yeah, well organized. Well organized. Okay, so let's move to your book.
Okay.
And your book is now translated in Arabic.
It is. I even have it here. So there's the version here. Can you see it?
I really love to read it in English, but I didn't manage to have it before our interview. Order will deliver it after 1 or 2 months. It's very long time. So I try to read all the reviews and watch your YouTube interviews. It's the name in English. If you are your own guru.
Be your own guru, yes.
Yeah. So
which really means It's an interesting name, and it's really about understanding yourself and obviously following the guidelines that we all have as society. I'm not saying that, but what's really fascinating, is if you look at the Indian word guru, it splits into two words, gu and ru. Gu meaning the shadow and ru meaning the light. So therefore, a guru is somebody taking you from the shadow into the light.
Yeah.
So being your own guru is about doing all of that inner self-awareness work, which is what you're doing so well as a coach.
Yeah. Okay. I understood that you are talking about two sides, it's emotional and spiritual, and how both sides affects us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it affects us not only as individuals, but also within our businesses where we work, our relationships. And we've all seen people who are very hardworking, but if you don't have that emotional intelligence or even that outer spiritual intelligence, then you're not fully alive, are you? You're kind of going through the motions as opposed to being alive and excited and grateful in the moment.
Okay.
And we also know that there is a strong correlation between our physical health and our emotional health and our spiritual health.
Yeah.
So by looking after all those aspects of ourselves, then we have perhaps a more joyful life, but we have a more grateful life. But also in businesses, what we see is that profits increase and people are off sick less often. So it's just, if you get people successful individually, then everything else around them grows and becomes more successful too. So that's what it's about really for me.
Okay. So let's go back to the point of emotional intelligence. Most people don't have that skill or have it in some degree or other. How can we improve our emotional intelligence?
I think it's all about relationships, isn't it? I think we have important relationships with our loved ones, with our families, with our friends, but actually the most important relationship that we will ever have is with ourselves.
Yeah.
We're with ourselves from the moment that we're born until the moment that we die. And it's interesting how many people don't always like themselves very much or don't feel believe in themselves, and that's where we can do the work. We can't change anyone else, but we can change ourselves. That's where the emotional intelligence comes from having that relationship with ourselves, going inwards, understanding who we are at our core and kind of what we're here to do. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I read an article about how we react or respond. It's all about us. Yeah. We can't manage how others will act with us, but we can manage how we respond.
Absolutely. And I find it fascinating that the word created and reacted are anagrams of each other. And so we can either create how we want to be, or we just react to what happens around us. And it's our choice. And we're always at a choice point, aren't we? So we choose whether to react or whether to create things the way that we want them to be.
Yeah, our feeling is our responsibility.
Yeah, exactly so. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew we'd get on.
Okay, so let's move to, before we move, do you have anything else you want to add about your book? I think to tell our listeners it's available on Amazon, and it's available.
It is available on Amazon.
Yeah, in local libraries right now, and I'll search also the local libraries and I list it down in the comments.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, do you want to add anything about the book?
No, the book, I've written the book to appeal to both your left brain and your right brain. So there's a true story that runs all the way through the book of a training program, coaching program that I ran with a business, big bank.
Okay.
So that's a story that you can follow. And then in the alternating chapters, there is the theory behind it and the tools that you can use for yourself as well. So you get to follow other people's story and you can apply it to yourself. So that was
so it's a practical guide how to understand ourselves and how to establish how to manage ourselves. Is that right?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, we want to move now to your beginning as a journalist.
Oh yeah, and my beginning as a journalist. Yeah, I always wanted to be a journalist, you know, since I was very little. And I love the idea of being able to go out and study what was happening, see what was happening, report on it. Perhaps for people who didn't have the time to go and look these things up themselves, but I would go and do the hard work and then make it easy for other people to know what was going on. Which was great because you can work out what you want to be when you grow up, I think, because you just get to see all sorts of different things, different people in life, different businesses, different, just all sorts of different things in life that you would never normally see if you just go for a normal job in an office. And from there, I moved into having my own business magazines. And that's really what kind of then moved me into coaching, was because I saw at first hand why some businesses were really successful because they had really successful people with the right attitude at the top, and why some businesses were always struggling because they had people with negative attitudes working in them. Yeah. So in some ways, it's when I look back, I can see how my career, how my life unfolded, and it makes sense. Although it doesn't always make sense at the time when you're living it, does it?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah. But not all of the journalists can transform to coaches. I think it's something inside you. Yeah.
I think you're absolutely. Yeah, I think what being a journalist did for me was that it made it very natural for me to ask questions and to be curious. Yeah. And as a journalist also, like a coach, you have to make a very quick relationship with someone to get them to trust you. People don't share a story with you if they don't like and trust you. You also have to have an ability to see if somebody's telling you the truth or not. Yeah. And often as a coach, sometimes you get the right answers, but you know that person doesn't quite mean it. So that kind of honed my early career in journalism, which helped me, of course, also to write my book and to create the tools and things that I create now. So it all makes sense in hindsight.
But when did you decide that I leave journalism I begin my coaching career? When were the transition points?
You ask good questions. You would make a good journalist. I've had my magazines for about 4 or 5 years, and there was just something in me that was starting to say, do you know, I don't want to write about other people making the news. I want to make the news myself somehow. I want to create change and do something rather than just observing it. So I want to get more involved. And luckily, I knew somebody who was running some courses in coaching and in neuro-linguistic programming and other things. So we did a bit of a swap with some advertising for me going to learn that. And then we just kind of took it from there. And I just thought, I have to do this. This is what my calling is, really. So that was the transition I made, which everybody said was mad at the time, but I'm still glad I did it.
No, but I think you are by nature a helper.
That's the angel. Yeah. I want to help, but we have to be careful as well that if you're helping, that you're not taking someone else's power away. So that you're enabling them to step up into the vision that you have of them. You can see who they could be, and it's about helping them see that as well, rather than stepping in and doing everything for them. And that's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think you are also a digger.
Digger.
You can dig deeply inside to get what you want, to get the information you want. And it's in journalism and in coaching. You use it in both.
Yeah. Well, you're a good digger. You keep asking me good questions.
Yeah, thank you. I'm delighted.
A natural interviewer.
Thank you. I'm delighted. You are such a skilled and a very nice testimony. Thank you. So, as a coach, what skills should master?
Oh, another good question. I think as a coach, first of all, know yourself. Master yourself first. There are people who try and step into coaching because they haven't got it right for themselves. So it's easier to go and help everyone else than it is to do the work on themselves. So I think if you're going to be a good coach, then you need to have been through that personal development yourself as well. Okay. I think that's really important.
What about study?
Study?
Study, yeah.
Did you say? Yeah, study. I think, there's plenty, there are lots of different coaching courses. Some are probably better than others. And I think it's for you to feel intuitively which one is right for you, and to think about what audience you want to help. Who are you here to help? And what's the best coaching course that will be right for the people that you're here to work with? And maybe you learn on that and get your foundations there, and also maybe develop something else on top of that that makes you unique, that makes you stand out, that adds that extra thing on. So you're not just repeating, but you're bringing your full self to each session. And it's about the client, it's not about you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And
what would you answer? How would you answer that question?
About study?
Yeah. What would you study? What would you say is important for coaches to have?
I'm beginning my path. I am just now studying the coaching, and I'm beginning to read. I'm so interested in psychology. I'm so interested in characters and how each type can behave, how we can change behavior, how we can form habits. All those areas are interesting to me right now. But I'm trying to take it step by step.
I have an idea for you.
Okay.
One of the things I want to do with the money types is to take it around the world with people who get it, who understand that it's all about personal development. And I'm creating a whole series or a whole suite of programs and courses in a community, which I'll be launching in a couple of months' time. I will have a number of people in different countries who are ambassadors. Who knows where it will go, but it's something that you feel as a heart level, as opposed to it being anything more than that. And for some people, we go with it in a big way. And for some people, it's just, we just keep in touch. But would you like to be one of our ambassadors?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then we'll find out more about all those different personality types that you're talking about. And then maybe we can find a way to share that as well, that will help you do the work that you're here to do as well, if that's of interest. But it just occurred to me in that moment to invite you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be more than happy to be to work with you.
Excellent. There's no charge for it, I should say. I'm not charging you anything for it. It's just an invitation of the right people.
Thank you.
You have to have the right heart.
So generous from you. Thank you.
So I'll make that happen for you. Good. Thank you. Yes, exciting.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to tell our listeners how I got to know about you. It's an article I read in a site, in Training Zone site. It's a coach's diary, and you wrote about an experience with a client and how you helped her to feel grown up. She was such in her childhood phase. Yeah, and that's it's very inspired me. That's when I took your name and I Googled and I found your website.
Wow, I'm honored.
I can't tell you, it was very inspiring to me. How can a coach dig deep inside a person to help them that way?
But that's the work you're here to do, right?
Yeah.
And I think if it resonates with you, that's exactly the work that you'll be doing. You go beneath the surface.
Yeah. It's all about going beneath the surface.
Yeah. And I know that you know that, hence my invitation before, because it's helping in a way. We all have a perfect blueprint, but actually it's our stories, our ego, our childhoods, our beliefs that kind of get in the way. So it's not about learning more stuff. It's actually about removing all of those unhappy memories, those negative patterns that we run, so that we can just shine our full selves. And that's what that story was about, really. And I think it resonated perhaps because that's the work that you do too. Yeah.
Let me tell you that I had on myself some bad experiences. I don't want to tell they are bad, but I can see now that those experiences that makes me more capable to understand people. Yeah.
I can share. Well, I won't share those with you now, but I think we all have experiences, and some we look back with in horror, at the time, but I'm so grateful now because I understand, because we don't sit in judgment. We just understand how these things can happen. And there is actually hope on the other side, that you can do the thing that's going to change it. And I think that's the most hopeful message that we can share. And I'm so excited and delighted that you're here to share that message too. Let's get it out there. We have some work to do, my friend. We have some work to do.
Yeah, we need to change others.
Well, we need to change ourselves, and then
ourselves first. Yeah, ourselves first.
And then other people. Nobody wants to be changed, but actually we can choose to change because that makes sense for us to do that. So it's that, nobody, as I say, nobody wants to be changed. It's important that we make those decisions ourselves when we see why.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would change. Why would you not? Rather than you must change, and no, I won't. So, but it's about being that role model as well, isn't it? Of being able to say, this and that happened to me in my life, and actually it doesn't define me. What I've done is I've transcended that, and I can use that now to help other people rather than become a victim of it. And I think that's an important thing as well.
Yeah. Okay, we had a very, very, very instructive time.
It's been lovely.
Yeah, it's very lovely. Do you have any final advice you can tell our listeners? How can they be themselves?
Yeah, and that's, I think, just to listen to yourself. And how often do we always listen to everyone else but ignore ourselves? And that's where intuition comes from, inner tuition. We have an inner guidance. So we have to take time to listen to ourselves and to listen to all of that intelligence that we have that's coming out from within. And and then let's go share that. Let's go share that in practical ways, but in ways that create a win-win, a win for ourselves and a win for the other people around us. And if everybody creates a win-win, then we're going to be able to create an amazing place on earth at this time. So let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Olivia. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much. And I enjoy.
Thank you, Nata, for having me here. It's been a joy.
I'm sure our listeners will enjoy our interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you to you.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.